Well, hi there, everyone. My name is Chris Rich. I am the CEO and Executive Director here at the National Celiac Association. Welcome to our holiday edition of our NCA gluten-free cook-along event. Tonight, it's just in time for the holiday season. We're making make-ahead holiday favorites that you can take with you to whatever function you have. The first thing, and I said this last time, if you were at a last one, this is a very informal event. I don't want anyone to worry we want you to cook along with us. That's the point. Don't worry if you spill an ingredient. Don't worry if you drop an egg. It's all going to be fine. We're going to have fun doing this. We're just going to enjoy the opportunity that we have to do this together and with others in our community, such as you. So, all right, let's get cooking. That's enough for me. I'm very happy to welcome back to our cook along sessions Shay Ryan and Katie Rich. She's been a meteorologist and host of a regular cooking segments at her local and national news stations across the U.S. for over 20 years now, and she currently works at the ABC station in Tampa, Florida. She's also the editor-in-chief of Gluten-Free and More magazine. Cooking along with Shay today is Katie Rich. Katie is my better half. She was raised as a Southern cook, and when our son was diagnosed with celiac disease 12 years ago, she redeveloped all of her recipes so that we could eat gluten-free. And 3 years ago, she was able to pursue her passion for cooking and became a head baker at one of our local bakeries. So I will now pass it off to our chefs for the evening. Shay, Katie, thank you so much for being here, and let's go ahead and get things started.
All right. So I think now Chris is going to move over to give Katie the microphone. So just wanted to say thank you for being along with us here tonight. And we are going to be making Katie's homemade baked ziti, and we're going to be making stuffed. If you want to stuff them, you don't have to stuff them, overnight French toast. And it's super simple. Both recipes are pretty easy, very simple ingredients that you may commonly have in your house. And as far as putting them together, you can do it the night before and bake them either in the morning or in the evening, however you want to do it. But these are nice for when you have a lot of guests coming over and you just need something that is going to be quick and satisfying, either for breakfast or lunch or dinner, to make the family happy and get the rest of the holidays going. So we often have a lot of people coming and going this time of year, and hopefully these recipes will help you out and possibly feed your whole family tonight too. So is Katie there with us now? She will be shortly. So we're going to start with her ziti. And if you have already cooked the pasta, one of the things I think a lot of us talk about with gluten-free pastas is what brand, because the brands can be very different, have a lot of different ingredients. It's a lot like flours and breads. So we all tend to have our favorites. So one of the things that we wanted to inquire is, what's your favorite? So if you want to add in the chat, what did you decide to use tonight? I used Rumo, and they have a couple of different shapes. They also do strings. This has been my favorite for using string pasta. It tends to hold together and you can actually twirl it on your fork, which I thought was nice because a lot of as you probably know, if you've been eating gluten-free for any length of time, the string pastas that are gluten-free tend to break a lot. And this one holds together pretty well. But one of my other favorites that I use a lot for casseroles or for something like this with the baked ziti is Berea. And they have a lot of great shapes as well. And that tends to hold on to those sauces and all that good stuff. So those are really fantastic. And so as far as tonight goes, we have already made and cooked our pasta, and we try to cook it a little bit under whenever we're doing a casserole because it's going to end up being cooked again. So you can see mine has been in the pot and it's been sticking. It's been under the pot lid, so it's been steaming for a little bit here. Yeah. And is holding together. But all right, now we've got Katie in there.
Can you hear me all right? Doing all
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah. So our family loves Italian sausage. So I'm just starting tonight with sauteing some of this Italian sausage in a pan. I've done this recipe with like pancetta, or if chicken, if you like to use chicken, if you've got, or in the summertime when the tomatoes are fresh, we just do it with just tomatoes. So that's really nice about the sauce is it's real easy to put together and about the time you boil your noodles. So We had y'all boil your noodles tonight beforehand, just so it would make it flow a little bit easier. One of the other fun things about this sauce is it uses heavy cream as like a thickener. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn my excuse me.
No,
Sorry, honey.
my bad.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get my cream in a small saucepan, and I'm going to have it start reducing. So what we're doing here, building the sauce, is we're just concentrating all these flavors. So literally, I'm just putting it in there. I've got it on real low because you don't want to boil it. You just want it to warm up so that when you add it to your other things, it doesn't make a difference. So yeah, so we're just going to saute this sausage off for a moment. And once that gets cooked, we're going to add our onion and take the sausage out and add the onion. So I liked your question though on the different types of pasta we're using tonight, Shay. Chris, you can show we've got Barbarilla. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
I was told Barilla by them, so. No, we've had some other people chime in to say jovial, Asian harvest. There's some Barilla chickpea. What's some other ones on here? Bonza, a good one. A lot of people like Bonza brand.
Very cool. Well, this is almost getting there. Hope I don't know if y'all are cooking sausage along at home or what's going on. Is anybody doing a different protein tonight? Just let us know what you're doing. But as soon as this meat is cooked through, we're gonna take it out of the pan and let it drain for a little bit. But I'm gonna cook our veggies in the good pot stuff. But
we had one person say they're doing chicken, one person say they're doing beef, so I think we have a nice variety on it.
Nice variety. Yeah. Oh, I bet ground beef or something like that, or ground turkey. You could even use ground turkey. And we also have in the kitchen with us tonight, we have Cleo and Maggie. So are they in the shot, honey?
No, they're not. They smell sausage cooking and they're very excited.
This is almost done here.
Shay, do you have sausage going there? It looks like it.
I do. I have just an Italian bulk sausage. It's not the hot and spicy type, just the regular mild sausage. And it was interesting. I didn't know that the grocery store sold it in the bulk package. And I know they do with like Jimmy Dean has it in the little, in the roll, but I didn't know that the grocery store actually sold it outside of the casings, as a sausage link. So this was nice. It made it easier because I usually buy it in the links and then just take it out of the links. But this is much easier. It certainly crumbles nicely and is coming apart. I think this will be really good with the tomatoes when it comes all together.
And another recipe I use this sausage for is we make kind of freeform egg rolls. So if you get, brown up your meat and then you get a bag of coleslaw mix and then you just saute it with like some sesame oil and stuff like that, it makes a really good egg roll without the wrapper. So it's just kind of a fun way to do that.
Oh, that sounds delicious. That sounds really good. I wanted to ask you, so do you put the cream on like a medium low, or would you say medium?
I would definitely do medium low.
Okay.
Just trying to take the chill off of it and maybe reduce it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like sorry, my watch is going off. We can go ahead and take that out, sweetie. Or maybe even just take the foil off. All right, I don't know how your sausage is looking, Shay, but mine is ready to come off.
It's looking great. And it actually didn't create a lot of grease in the pan, which surprised me too.
Hey, one question I did want to come back to. We were talking about the cream, and I know a lot of us have many different food allergies or restrictions. In terms of people who have dairy restrictions, are there any recommendations as to what you can use in a case like this instead of the cream that we did use?
Yes. So I think there are several products that, I mean, I like a regular heavy uh, coconut cream, I think is good, but there are a couple of new products that have just come on the market and they sell them in the same container, you know, the regular carton, just like a regular dairy heavy cream. But Silk is making one. They're selling them with the advertising or the branding or marketing, whatever you want to call it, to make whipping cream. So it is a concentrated type. But in this recipe, it should work, I would think, quite well. But it's Khalifa Farms makes one, Silk, and BioLife. So all three. And the BioLife, it's dairy-free, soy, gluten, lactose, nut, and nut-free. So I'm not 100% sure what's in it, but it is in a regular carton. And
Yeah.
apparently you can make heavy cream or you can make whipping cream with it as well. So unless heating it, there is that chance that it's so oil-based. I would check the ingredients. It could be so oil-based that if you heat it, it turns into
Yeah.
slick. There's a chance for that.
Yeah. So if you're using a dairy substitute, throw it in the chat. Let us know what you use in situations such as these.
Yeah, but I typically like the you know, there's the almond milks, the nut milks work really well, and there are some good ones. Ripple is another one. They make them as if they're coffee creamers, but they're unsweetened. And that's what I tend to use. So Delicious also makes a coffee creamer, is the way that it's sold. But I use that instead of heavy cream a lot in my recipes that to substitute.
So I took our sausage out and I've just got it draining a little bit. And I added the diced onion, but I kept all that really good flavor in the pan. I didn't bother to wipe it out or anything like that. And I'm just going to cook these onions till they get kind of soft and translucent. That should take another minute or so. But yeah, it was funny though, because I thought I had plenty of onions and then I forgot that I cooked Thanksgiving dinner last week. You know how that goes in
Right.
the pantry. You're like, oh, I've got plenty of onions, not a problem. And here we are. But yeah, I'm
Yeah, I've got all those brown bits on the bottom of the pan, which I just love. Of course, that adds so much flavor when you from the sausage.
it does. My mom always called those the yum yums.
I like that.
Get the yum
And
yums.
yeah, and then as the onions release all of their liquid, that's just gonna pull all of that up, all the yum yums up.
All the yum yums. And then after your onion gets a little soft, you know, it's not that hard white color anymore. I add a little bit of garlic, but you want to make sure that you have your tomatoes ready to add because garlic cooks really fast. If you overcook it, it'll turn your whole dish kind of bitter. So that's something that get ready for it. You know, it's kind of like cooking in a wok. You know, you've just got to make sure your next ingredient is ready to go. So I love this pre-minced garlic. It's, you know, working mom here. Hot tip. It's something I like. It just comes out in a tube. It's not that beautiful, but it works. So I just go ahead and I just saute it, you know, because I want to get it hot and cook it a little bit so that it's not just that raw, strong garlic flavor. Wish we had smell-o-vision, guys. It's smelling really good everywhere.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to go ahead and add my tomatoes. And that's perfectly normal that we got that reaction out of the pan. You know, the pan was really hot. I'm going to add my other can of tomatoes. There we go. And again, if it's summertime and you've got fresh tomatoes around to use up, absolutely dice them up and put them in here. It makes a wonderful sauce. But you can see how this is really loose, is what I would call it, and that it's kind of watery. And we're just gonna let this cook down. I'm gonna add a couple seasonings. I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper, And then my family doesn't care for things that are too spicy. So I'm just gonna add some basil and parsley to ours. But my brother, you know, he would add tons of red pepper flakes or whatever your family enjoys, that sort of thing. But what we're doing is we're gonna make kind of like a jam, if you will. We're gonna concentrate all these flavors down. Um, but it's pretty simple at this point. We just put it down to medium and we're just gonna let it cook for a few minutes. And
We had a good tip come in about the garlic that
yeah.
said if garlic bothers you, you can also use a garlic infused olive oil.
Oh, that is a good idea. All right. So can you see that? And see how it's really loose, kind of and liquidy? So when we come back to this in a little while, it's going to be cooked down and ready to go. Okay.
Yeah, this looks great. This is really looking good. I'm just scraping up the bottom, getting the yum yums out. They're all coming up. I just want to make sure that they're not stuck to the bottom so that it doesn't end up burning. But it is all loosened up
Yep.
and really looking fantastic. And then I'll turn the heat down. And then the next thing we're doing is we're moving over to start. So we keep the cream simmering.
Yep. Keep the cream, it's just barely on, I guess, at this point, you're
Yep.
making sure that it's staying warm, it's not boiling or anything like that. And then your red sauce can be not boiling, but definitely on medium for reducing.
Okay. And I am just clearing off a little space here for myself. All right. So for the French toast, wanted to show you as well. If you can't tolerate eggs, we have, if you've never tried them, just eggs. It usually says the just really big, but I guess they've changed some of their packaging, but it's still that same bright yellow coloring. And these work incredibly well for French toast. In fact, when I do coated French toast, like you crush up different cereals and coat your French toast with them, this actually works much better with allowing the crushed cereals to stick to them than to the bread than regular eggs does. So I really like that. But this is as simple as it gets. You are going to crack your eggs just like you would with any other French toast, just the simple combination of eggs and milk. You can always, depending on what your final, if you're making them sweet or if you're making them savory, you can decide which way you want to do this. But you can always add in extra seasonings, like if you wanted to add in cinnamon or vanilla, if you know you're going to go a sweet route. But this is the type too that what we're doing is stuffing them with things like think of a Monte Cristo, where you have turkey and ham and cheese, and then maybe some Thousand Island dressing. So if it's going to be savory like that, you can also put in, salt and pepper if you want to, um, or even a little garlic powder or something along those lines.
Shay, I'm
And
doing a savory.
oh
So
yeah.
I have this cheddar Gruyere blend that I get at Trader
Oh,
Joe's that is fantastic for casseroles or things like this. And then I just picked up some ham at the store today. So that's the
that,
one I'm doing. So
oh, I like that. That sounds really good. Um, and so all you do is just mix up I just poured in the milk and mix up your eggs. And think about how easy this is if you're using the Just Eggs product, or if you really wanted to cut corners and you still want to use real eggs, but you want to cut corners, you can also buy the pre-mixed eggs that come in the carton too. I mean, there's a lot of ways to cut corners with this type of recipe. And then all you are going to do is take your sheet pan, and I lined it with, you can line it with parchment paper or aluminum foil, or you don't have to. You could always just put put it directly on, but I like to use either aluminum foil or parchment just so that I don't have to clean up the next day. I just pull it out and then take it from there. But then I coat it with butter just so that they don't stick. And of course, it adds a little extra flavor too. But as far as the non-stick goes, if you don't want to use butter, you could always use coconut oil. You can use a spray like a coconut or a canola oil spray if you wanted to use that. You're really just trying to keep them from sticking so that you can flip them over easily. So, and this works just as you would expect. Those eggs were really orange. You can see how the color looks super orange, almost a peach color.
Love it.
And this will make 4 total sandwiches or a total of 8 pieces of bread. And you just give them a quick flip. And you've probably seen recipes like this where you can layer these and put other ingredients if you want, like fresh berries you can mix in. And there's all kinds of fancy, fun things that you can do. I've done it where I put in like sweetened cream cheese in between slices, or sauteed some apples and put them in.
So Shay, in terms of soaking the bread, it doesn't look like you're doing it too long.
No, It just, in fact, what I'll do is whatever egg is left over, I just pour it on top. Because these are going to sit overnight, it will soak all of it up. And I'll show you our next tray that has been sitting. It looks completely different. It's just really absorbs everything. So when it goes into the oven, it turns out more like a regular piece of bread. And that's why I think it's so great for sandwiches, because it doesn't feel like you're eating a breakfast food that you have to have a fork and a knife for. It definitely feels like something you can pick up and eat like a sandwich.
When I put this down, you got to get a shot.
So it all gets soaked pretty well. The overnighting is what allows it to soak up. So then whatever I have left over, I just kind of run it over them.
All my gluten-free friends, there's a hole in a piece of bread. Surprising? No? I'm sorry.
If anyone follows the gluten-free street gang, I imagine there's probably a few out there who do. Did you see the sweater, the gluten-free street gang sweater? And it has the gingerbread guys, but then the holes, the pieces of bread with the holes in it. Couldn't miss it, right? Classic, gluten-free.
I like your apron tonight, Shay. By the way, if you want
Thank you.
an apron like that, you can find one of those on our website. Just go to our merchandise section. You can get one for yourself. I have mine on as well if you saw that earlier. So
Yes, it's a great apron. I love it. It's great. Perfect. All right. So this, you just put a cover on it. You can just put some saran wrap if you want. I got these handy. These are awesome. Got them at Costco. I'm a huge Costco freak, but plastic wrap works great. A little aluminum foil, whatever you want to do. And then the following morning, when they come out, it looks, I mean, they barely look wet at this point. I mean, clearly they are, but they're not, dripping. They've definitely absorbed all of that goodness in there. And then you pop them in the oven and they're going to go in for 10 minutes. So they're done in 10 minutes. So do that. And just to check myself here. And in those 10 minutes, if you want, you can set out your meats and cheeses or whatever it is that you're going to put. Sometimes, I know it sounds a little funny, but I think jam is actually really good with some of the cheeses. So I'll do, like if you want, you could put a brie cheese with some jam. And when it melts, it's great. So after it comes out, after being in there for 10 minutes, you flip them over and then put them back in just to let the cheese melt and heat up whatever is inside. And then you can always add other fresh toppings if you want to build your sandwich, or make it open faced if you want. And so that way you can feed more people if you want to make 8 of them instead of making 4 in a closed sandwich. So there's lots of options, which makes it pretty fun. Or you can make it just like it's French toast and just grab your maple syrup and away to go, you know? This is also, oh, I wanted to show you this too. So this is also one of my favorite breads. So if you want to, instead of using like a regular sandwich bread, this bread, it's by Greenlight, and you can get it at Whole Foods. It comes in like an artisan loaf and also a baguette, and it makes incredible bread, and you can slice it into those thick slices. And if you used to make like challah French toast before, when in your gluten eating days, if you happen to, you know, like me, was diagnosed with celiac late in life, so I got to enjoy a lot of challah French toast when I was young. This is the closest thing to it, where it's a nice soft bread inside. So it's the closest thing to that type of French toast that I've had, and it's really, really yummy. And it's yeah, it's quite nice. So that's a good one.
So should
So
we
Katie,
move
how
on?
long are we leaving our sauce on? Are we?
I think mine is almost there. I don't know how everybody else is doing, but I just gave mine a quick stir and it was like solid at the bottom, and then, but you can see how much it's reduced. It's come down almost an inch.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it's really reduced. And, when my kids were younger, they didn't really love that there were big chunks in this sauce. I'm not gonna lie. But now that they're older, they really like it. So, I am just gonna turn it down to low actually, because I don't want it to splatter all over me. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn my cream off and add that in slowly. And that's just our next step. And you'll see, when our daughter was younger, she called this the pink sauce, which makes sense. And you'll see it just turns it pink and it all just slowly comes together. But having that cream hot, you can see it just really, boom, it's ready to go. So,
That's beautiful.
yeah,
I think I needed my temperature on my sauce to be a little bit higher.
okay,
It's thickened, but I don't think mine is thickened quite enough.
there
It's
you
looking
go.
delicious though, and it smells so good, but I don't think I had my temp high enough.
At this point, if you were doing like a traditional penne vodka, you actually would add a couple tablespoons of vodka to the sauce.
Mm.
It gives it kind of a sharp tang, kind of like a buttermilk would too.
Oh, nice.
Your baked goods. I don't care for that sharpness in this dish, but if you guys are just sauteing and making the sauce and eating it right away tonight and not making a true casserole, go for it. It's kind of fun. All right, you can see that my cream is all stirred in. I'm gonna get my sausage and pour that back in. That was almost graceful. There we go.
That was great.
Hey, like I said at the beginning, it doesn't matter. We're all
Right.
fun here.
Thank God these are good friends and I can just clean up after myself. So again, if you're using string pasta like what Shay enjoys, if you wanted to use a fettuccine or a linguine, something like that, this would be delicious on that. So I'm gonna actually turn this off now. Make sure these are all turned off.
Shay, yours looks pretty good there.
Yeah, I think even though it didn't mine didn't reduce that as much as Katie's did, I think it still looks great. I mean, it smells amazing.
Fun. Fun. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh, this is mine?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, mine is gorgeous.
Don't you love it when you
There.
surprise
There you
yourself? I love it. That's like the best. That's the absolute best.
All
I
right,
love it.
so my directions, I said to just pour everything together in the stock pot. I don't have a saute pan that's big enough for like a whole box of pasta plus sauce. So this is something I started doing when we were on vacation because you always bring your own pots and pans, being celiac on vacation. But here we go. We're gonna just pour this in. All right. There it is. It's that simple. And then I'm just going to gently stir to combine this. And it really does thicken up when it's in the oven. It also will thicken up after you take your casserole out and let it sit for 10 minutes. If you hear growling in the background, the dog is really interested.
It's not my stomach, it's the dog.
Right.
Whoop, that was a lot of pots. Sorry. I think that was loud too. You have two dogs there, don't you?
Yeah, so one is our Maggie. Can you show Maggie?
Where is she?
There she
There she
is.
is.
Oh,
This is Maggie. And then Cleo is hanging out. Cleo is our host dog. Labs, labs, you gotta love labs. They're always just a little bit more chill than everybody else. So
oh my gosh, that's so funny. I laughed too hard. The camera went off the lab who was sleeping on the floor. That was
yeah.
my bad.
So I found this dish. It's made by Pyrex, and it's like a good 2 inches, like an inch and a half deeper than a regular casserole dish. And I have loved using it. So, when you're thinking about taking dishes places, it's nice that it's a little bit taller so that you could put aluminum foil or something on it, and then your cheese doesn't get stuck. So I'm just ladling this in. And I realized I forgot to put my Parmesan cheese in, but we can just make a really nice cheesy layer here. There's this one.
And Katie, do you usually put anything like I know you mentioned the aluminum foil, but do you usually butter or put any oil or anything like that in the bottom?
I don't, but I mean, you certainly can. I
But you
just,
don't find a problem with it sticking?
no, I don't.
Okay, great.
And then I love using that barkeeper's friend, whenever I
Yes,
do have to clean up stuff.
I agree. That's my favorite as well.
Right? So I'm just layering in, I've got Parmesan cheese, I have mozzarella cheese. I know a lot of people love pecorino romano, it's just kind of whatever your family enjoys.
All of the above.
Yes, yes, for sure. And I'm gonna ladle some more on top here. Yeah, we traditionally on Christmas Eve would always do a casserole type Italian dish. Because my mom sang in the choir. So it was an easy dish for her to make ahead, you know, and then Christmas Day we do full dinner. But I just think it's neat to hear what other people do for their holiday dishes or, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, it gets so hectic, and it reminds me a lot. I'm Jewish, so we celebrate Passover, and that is in Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is always the holiday that I find these make-ahead dishes are essential because you are usually at services during the day, and then you come home and you want everything ready and prepared, and you're starving at that point, and everybody's ready to eat, and you don't want anything that's going to take too long. So you want to have everything prepared ahead. Just pop in the oven or pull it out of the refrigerator and, kind of serve as you go. And these are great dishes for that.
Just keeping it simple,
Yeah.
that's the rule as busy professionals and moms. I always love to throw a little salt on top. If it's under seasoned, it's not, it's not any good. So that's just me.
So
Oh,
my oven just went off for the first 10 minutes.
my watch just went off as well. So
So just to show you real quick. So you can see how the edges are nice and toasty here. And and then you just flip. I got to get my hand so I don't burn myself. So the underneath is still a bit soft, but the top is crispy. So you want to flip them over just so that both sides get nice and toasty. But then, of course, you're also putting in your toppings here. So if or your fillings, depending on how you want to do it. But if you just want to eat them as regular French toast, you definitely want to make sure you're flipping them so you get both sides nice and toasty. And when you use there's pros and cons, I think, to using aluminum foil versus parchment paper. The parchment paper will sometimes absorb a little more of the moisture, so it doesn't get as crispy. But then here you can see it's sticking a little more because of the aluminum foil than the parchment would. So they're not going to stick quite as much if you had the parchment paper, but they'll still come up.
Brown and crispy on the outside. They're there.
Yep. And then at this point, you just put on whatever cheeses. We are all about the cheese. I almost had a major crash. Wow, that would have been something.
No.
Holy cow, what was I thinking there? Okay. I'm going to use my fingers because it's just our family.
All right. That's the theme tonight. It's nothing formal. It's just a fun cook-along. So
Somebody did ask, did they miss when they added the cheese for the pasta? Is that in the layering process?
it's in the layering process, or if you want to add the pecorino or Parmesan to your sauce, you can absolutely do that as well.
All right, back to French toast. Sorry.
So now you're just layering up your cheese, your meats, however you want to do it. You can let's see, mix it up a little bit. And then, of course, I'm leaving out whatever the sauce is that I'm going to put on, and I'll put that on afterward, just so that, unless you want it, to be warmed up as well. That's completely up to you, however you want to do it.
Shay, you're going serious with the meats there. It looks great.
So I have turkey, roast beef, and pastrami.
Yum.
Yum. All right. And then it just goes back in the oven for 5 minutes. And then that's it. Just enough to get the cheese to melt. And it's already starting to melt because it was so hot to begin with. So if you have everything, pretty laid out and ready to go, it doesn't take all that long at all.
So Katie, you're doing the ham and then the cheese on top of it. So, okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks great. Yeah, there's more than one way to load up a sandwich, right?
For sure.
Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. And I'm going to finish up my ziti here. So I have the cheese. I have put mozzarella, like a finely shredded mozzarella, in the middle. And also a shredded Parmesan. Now I'll put the same on top.
Yeah, I'm going to clean just a little bit. I know we can't clean it all the way, but.
I kind of feel like I should have saved more cheese for the top. I like a lot of cheese. So then I usually find when I have a ceramic dish like this, if I put it in the refrigerator overnight, I usually let mine sit out for maybe 30 minutes or something, just so that it's not really like refrigerator cold going into a hot oven. Or I might even put it in the oven as the oven is preheating. Do you do something similar, or do you feel like most of or I'll use a metal pan sometimes. I've never had a problem where my pan has cracked, but I have heard that that can happen. Are you concerned about that, Katie, or?
I always bring it out and put it on the kitchen island for a
Yeah,
good 20 minutes before you put it in the oven. And
yeah,
usually I'm preheating the oven or I'm finishing a fruit bowl or whatever it
yeah,
might be for breakfast. So yeah, I think it's important to just kind of, I don't want to say take the chill off, but
yeah, acclimate
rarely
it a
go
little.
straight from fridge to oven. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how long? You said 20 minutes. This goes in the oven for 20 minutes and you're good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring my finished one over here so you guys can see, or do you wanna go over there, honey?
Oh, I'll walk that way.
Okay. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of
Oh,
the oven. And yeah, you can see, and the beautiful thing about this dish
yum.
too is it holds well. So, you get to the party, it's a potluck, and nobody eats for like, the first half hour. Don't worry about it. It is just as good piping hot as it is, you know, after it's been sitting out for a little bit. So
We have a good question in the chat on the non-dairy people. What kind of cheeses are non-dairy people using? Are there recommendations? Throw them in there. Yeah.
So I just heard about a cheese brand that I think a lot of people probably already know about, but I've just heard about it. It's called Rebel, Rebel, and it's out of Austin, Texas. And they have some really well-rated cheeses. They're more like the gourmet artisan type cheeses, not necessarily sliced cheeses, but they look amazing, sound amazing. The ratings are incredible. But as far as what you buy in a grocery store, I feel like the taste for me, I like the Violife a lot. Um, we have someone on our team um, who's vegan, and she would have been a great one to ask right now, wouldn't she? Do you guys know what Heidi likes? Yeah, Violife. Yeah. I like their feta is one that I don't think it tastes like feta, but I like it better I mean, I just like the way it tastes.
To the cheeses.
A smoked Gouda, I think. Is that what it is that they have?
But like I feel like all their cheeses taste smoked.
Okay.
It's a different.
Yeah, there's some flavor that they're adding to it that tastes good. And their shreds melt, which is nice too. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Is anybody writing anything in the chat?
these are ready to come out.
Yeah, there's a few things in the chat there.
Okay.
Boy.
Follow your heart brand mozzarella. I haven't heard that one.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've tried that one too. I like that.
I just got pushed out of the way, by the way. She's like behind. There we go. There's
Oh my gosh, those look great. Oh my, and I forgot mine too. Yeah. Oh, they look great.
so we got the Gruyere ham French toast. It smells good too.
It does smell good. The dogs are very interested.
Wow. Okay, so I got mine as well. And yes, the cheese has absolutely melted. You can see. Oh, let me move this pot. There we go. Too many things in the way.
Oh, I want a roast beef one.
All right.
You
So
can
then,
put horseradish or mustard or anything on these.
yeah, the Thousand Island, I love. Oh, yeah, and sauerkraut is also good on some of them. But I usually just like slather it on in the middle. And then, I mean, there's so many good sauces to put on these.
Yeah.
And
That is
then,
definitely not a traditional French toast. I love it.
Yeah, my favorite sandwich growing up was a Monte Cristo. And and the place that I used to get it from, the restaurant, they would deep fry it. They actually battered it and deep fried it. I'm sure it was awful as far as, health wise, but it was delicious. And that was what I used to crave all the time. And so, I started making this and it at least, takes care of the craving. But you put it on, I usually just put it on a plate and then cut it in half. And you get that same, ooey gooey kind of cheesiness and all the yummy.
Someone put a good comment in there about what kind of sides can you have with ziti? Do you do veggie side with ziti? What would we do?
Oh, you could definitely do like some roasted Brussels sprouts or a green salad or asparagus, I think would be really good. Traditional would probably be the salad, but yeah, anything with kind of a strong flavor, I think would be excellent with it.
Shay, how about you? What's the favorite veggie to go with on the side with the pasta?
Garlic bread? No, I would say I would like a salad. That's usually what I want with pasta is something light and fresh. But it doesn't even have to be a green salad, maybe like a cucumber and tomato, just diced up, something along those lines is really yummy, just to kind of lighten it up. But a garlic bread is always nice too, just to mop things up. Yeah. Trying to think, broccoli is good. Little roasted broccoli. That never hurt anything. Yeah, I wanted to pull mine out too because I think this is looking really incredible in here.
I hope you have enough people to eat it all.
I think I'll probably find a few extra friends tonight. Look at that. That looks amazing.
Oh, yum.
Yum.
We freeze these. I would not freeze the baked ziti just because I have not had great luck with the gluten-free pasta. Freezing and then reheating, okay. Shay, what are your feelings on that?
That's interesting. I'm trying to think if I have frozen. I don't think I've ever frozen gluten-free pasta either.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. Um, I've done pie dough,
Right.
but yeah, no, I don't think I've ever done pasta either.
But it
Yeah.
definitely can, be made a day in advance and then reheated the next day just beautifully.
Right. Yes. With casseroles, I've certainly done that and they hold really well. And I think the other thing that gluten-free pasta can do, if your recipe has been made specifically for it that way, is some of the pastas are good if there's enough liquid where you do a make ahead and you don't even have to cook the pasta. If, like I said, if the recipe is tailored that way, you don't even have to boil the pasta. You can put it in, get it all mixed together and then throw it in the oven the following day. And those are good. I don't know if that is true with regular pastas or not, but I have found with the gluten-free pastas that has worked for me. So that's something that I found does work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's just neat looking at y'all's comments and finding out that we all are having the same experience with trying to make gluten-free pasta.
it is interesting how, just what we use is so different. And in some ways, we get these special treats where, because of the ingredients, we do get a bonus. I feel like so often we hear the negatives of cooking with gluten-free products, but every once in a while, you get a little treat.
Yes. Yes. Well, and you know that your dish was made fresh,
Yes.
You don't have to worry about a restaurant freezing your dish ahead of time. Nope.
Exactly. Yeah, this turned out really beautiful, and that was very quick to make.
So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
So Shay, Katie, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining along and being part of this. Remember, you know, to go to our events calendar. We have events every month. We look forward to doing another one of these. So we just appreciate you taking some time out of your eating and out of your evening, and happy eating. There we go. So thanks everybody.
Thank you. Thanks.